This is going to be a performance review of NFS Heat on the Steam Deck. Currently, it is rated as playable, but there are a few caveats to that. Let's jump in and see how it performs. Now, I have mixed performance with this game. Sometimes it doesn't load at all, sometimes it crashes, sometimes it takes a few attempts, but most of the time it boots up first try, so we'll see how it performs today. What the game tries to do is it tries to boot you up through EA Play. And on the first setup, you might want to sign in. So here you can see that it's trying to log in with EA here. This will just be a blank screen and will disappear. Now, a caveat with this game is it does take slightly longer to load. With some games that are playable on the Steam Deck, they will load straight away. But with NFS Heat, you can just tell that there's something going on. The Steam Deck's trying to figure something out. So here we've been greeted with a blank screen for about 10 seconds. The Steam Deck's fans, you can hear them ever so slightly. But eventually, it looks like we might be booting in. Fantastic. So that took a little bit longer than you'd expect for a game, but it looks like we're in. So let's see how well it performs. So we're trying to establish a connection with EA, so that means we'll be online. Obviously in this game you have the choice of playing online or playing solo. For the sake of this, we're going to play solo, as I'd imagine that that's what most people are doing. So we're going to play solo. Now for this game we currently have it set to medium settings across the board, and we're coming out at 1080p. The Steam Deck is frame locked to 30 frames per second as well. I think trying to get it to push to 60 is a bit of a push. I don't think that's achievable with this game. So we've loaded into the garage. Here we are. All pretty seamless once you're in. The controls work as you would expect. But what we are going to do now is we're going to load into the game. We're going to load into nighttime because I believe that to be the most visually taxing. And we'll see how it performs. So this is the load screen to get into the main game. We'll see how long this takes. Cool, and we are in. That wasn't too bad. That was about 25 seconds.
Just to let you know, this friend of mine, Wayne, he's big in
So let's have a drive around and see how it performs.
He's waiting for you down at the port. Go have fun.
So once we are in, as you can see, all the controls work just as you would expect, and the latency is very good. So it performs quite well. It looks decent, so the graphics are quite sharp. Let's just confirm what we are playing at. So we are currently set to full screen, 800p, so slightly lower than 1080, and medium graphic settings across the board. So obviously we're sacrificing resolution a little bit here to get it to run smoothly. But this is a relatively smooth experience. Now, in my experience playing it, there have been some hitches every now and again. You get kind of inexplainable frame stutters, maybe if you're going through something or going through a different area of the game. But for the most part, this has been quite a nice experience. If I just open up my options here and show you the performance overlay, you might not be able to see this on the camera very well, but you can see that we are drawing a considerable amount of battery. This game will devour your battery in a couple of hours, maybe even an hour and a half if you know you're pushing it particularly hard. So do be aware of that. I always play this game plugged in, for example. But as we go, you can see the frame rate counter here. It does stay at a pretty solid 30. Obviously, I've hard locked it on the Steam Deck itself, but we do stick to that for the most part. Again, there are occasional stutters and things like that. Let's try and get it to mess up here. Obviously, this is nighttime. It's tipping it down with rain. This is kind of the perfect case to see if it messes up, and it seems to be holding pretty solid. So there you go. That is Need for Speed Heat. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to answer it. But there you go. It works.